did they ask me? What are my credentials? What qualifies you to speak in this subject? So I say this to them. I haven't had any qualifications. I have no schooling on what I'm about to teach you. None. And they're like, what the hell are you doing teaching this then? So then I say to them, I said, how much communication is body language? Anybody? Yeah, you did it yesterday. How much communication is body language?
They say 85% or more.
Yeah. 85% or more. That's a lot, isn't it? That's a tremendous amount. Yeah, right. Statistics between 80 to 90%. Now, I go back to the individual who said how much education you have, and I go to them and I say, how much body language training did you have in your 8 years degree and your doctor's? Guess what they say? None. So I go back to them. I said, we're even now.
How does that go?
Pretty good, because I say it pretty funny. You don't want to hurt someone's ego when you just start. but it's true, they have none. Now, wait a minute. Isn't that important? If that's your 80% of communication, if it's that high, why isn't that your main subject? That's huge, isn't it? And you don't have any schooling on that in your 8 years degree? There's a huge missing link there, right? Now, in your line of work, why is it important to know body language? If you're talking to somebody with a low verbal IQ, have fun with that, right? Could they interpret the way you look at them, as either fake or threatening? Absolutely. So this is what I focus on when I talk about this. I focus more about body language than more about what you say. And you'll see how it parallels together. Because you're right. You would think that they would know a lot about body language because that is 80% of communication. But a lot of people don't. Or you get some that are really good at it but don't know how to share it. Really good at it. They have no idea how to share it. Get some officers with very good instincts. Man, how do I explain that to them? And then I start helping them dissect it, and sure enough, it starts to come out. So you represent a company, not just yourself. Remember that when you're out there. I have to teach you how to deal with someone, to communicate effectively with difficult members while remaining calm and responding with respect. Wow, is that hard? In the face of someone cussing you out and calling you even you still got to respect them? Whoa. That's not easy, is it? Not easy at all. But we have to do that because we're working. So don't treat others how you want to be treated. I know there's a golden rule out there. Treat others how you want to be treated. I say don't. I say treat them better if you're working. Now, I look at some people and I look at them and I'm like, oh, I hope you don't treat me the way you treat yourself. You know what I'm talking about. When you're working, you should treat them a lot better. So like I said, you're going to develop strategies that help you at home, work, and with the person that you're speaking to. Very easy. What was your name again?
Dave.
Dave, this guy looks just like you in this video.
Do you have a class on how to get along with clerical?
Clerical? Yeah, on my slide on how not to take it personal.
Oh, okay.
I do have a slide.
Sorry, Susan.
The first 2 talks that I did, there's a few people who cried. Now the crying isn't because I made them cry as far as with anger. They made connections with what they're doing.
Just so you know, he's in
He's good, trying to cry, baby. He's in touch with his feminine side.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Really?
what was your name again? Susan, you're going to see why. You're going to see why. This guy was just like him.
A very close call. Could have gone either way. It was right on the line.
Now, Ferguson's not too happy with it, I can tell you that much.
He's beating him like a rented mule.
Look like him.
And the ref's just tuning him out.
Boy, where do you train to take a beating like that?
He said, when's that porch gonna get painted?
Is that his wife?
It's been 3 weeks! 3 weeks! And I don't think I could have married Dawn Hoffman. And it wouldn't hurt for you to say that you love me once in a while.
sure your home is good so you can take it to work with you. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. So, strategies to develop at home and work. We're a human being who leads with emotions, aren't we? Don't we lead with a lot of emotions? So if you're not prepared on how you're going to deal with someone cussing you out and calling you every name in a book, guess what you're going to lead with? Emotions. You have to develop a plan on what you're going to say in the face of that type of behavior. You have to. If not, you're going to lead with emotions. And in your line of work, could you get set up? Hell yes. So we can't lead with emotions because we can get set up. Very important. So they did a social experiment where a guy comes out and he starts laughing. And watch the rest of the people, what the rest of the people do. Emotions are pretty contagious, aren't they? They're contagious. That's a tough one there, isn't it? You can tell that was tough. Everybody starts laughing because emotions are contagious. That's why. So if I get when I teach maintaining morale for management, I focus on supervisors and management, and I tell them, if you come to work in a bad mood, you're setting the tone for everybody else. You're held at a higher standard. Emotions trickle right down. So when I get supervisors that tell me, Hector, I need you to come to my work and teach my employees how to deal with difficult people, and while I'm talking to them, they're in a bad mood all the time, I'm like, yeah, right. I think it starts with you. What are you going to do? Tell me to leave? They already signed the contract. We get paid anyways. It happens sometimes. But I'm not there for him to like me. He wants me to do a job, then I'm going to do it. Now, if he didn't find out that he was something wrong with him, he needs to, because he leads with emotions. It sets the tone from the top, Dan. Right from the top, right down. It's very challenging because we lead with emotions. Emotions are very contagious. That's the kind of human being we are. We have to understand that. So, in combination with that, if we're having any issue at home or even at work, we should go talk to someone. If you're having an issue at home or something happens, a death in the family, you're going through a divorce, you're going through a hard time, you have to get help. Why? How are you going to recall anything that you've been trained to do if you're having an issue? How? You could be the best trained at whatever you do, but if you're having an issue, have fun trying to recall it. Have fun. It ain't going to happen. Talking to someone is vital. You don't have to talk to EAP if you don't want. You have counselors, you have pastors, you have priests that still apply. That it be confidential. Nothing wrong with that. Look at the military. Look how the suicide rate in the military, because they don't talk to someone. We lost 30 overseas last year. 30 overseas. We lose 20 a day to suicide. Times that by 365. 7,300 a year to suicide. Isn't that crazy? They need to talk to someone. Look at law enforcement. We lost 48 last year, 52 to gunfire, 159 to suicide. And people don't want to talk about that, do they? That's huge. Talk to someone. You probably don't need any training if you're dead. Come on now. This is ego. This is not knowing how to talk to someone. Talk to someone. suicide rate for veterinarians and other jobs too that I speak to, it's just as high as this. Higher than that. Very mentally draining. You have to talk to someone. Please, it's confidential. Shar, is it any of your business what their problem is?
Not at all.
Not at all. All she gets is the bill. That's it. It is none of her business. It's confidential. Very important. Well, I'll revisit this a little bit more. Bully behavior, in your line of work, I'd always think about this. If they're bullying you, they could be baiting you. Baiting you to see what you're going to do to make a mistake, to put you on YouTube, to put you on Facebook, to get your job. Very important to think about that. But even in the face of them baiting you, how are you going to respond? You have to set a standard for your department on how you respond to stupidity. Now, granted, it won't be on YouTube or Facebook, but it won't get you neither. Baiting you. How about domestic? You could yell at somebody, or they could be yelling at you, and the next thing you know, their friend comes up from behind you and knocks you right out. Because you're too busy being mad. You're too busy focused. Isn't that crazy?
Don Will's Frazier.
Just knocks him out. He's not even paying attention. But you know domestic violence is huge. Even after they call you to help them, now they'll defend their loved one even when they're wrong. Because it's an emotional roller coaster. It's huge. Huge. So focus on making sure that you still remain calm in the face of stupidity. I had a company call me to go do a talk. And what prompts you to call me? He's like, well, we had an incident where our utility worker was arguing with a lady. Her husband escapes out the back door, comes up to the front door and puts a shotgun to the back of his head. Here's what he said. I know that's my wife. I know she's but only I talk to her that way. Now remember, he's got a finger on the trigger. That's scary. He's defending his wife even though she's wrong. So we have to be careful in the face of this. We have to be careful to have a response. Listening. This is what it does. It provides emotional relief. Have we thought about that? Men, have you ever heard this? I just want you to listen. If you've heard that, then you probably need help for me to teach you how to listen.
I wasn't listening.
What's that?
I wasn't listening.
You wasn't listening. Well, I broke it down easy. How much do psychologists get paid an hour? Anybody know?
A lot.
I know a few that get paid over $200 an hour. And you know what they say? You know what one thing they say in that hour they're listening? How does that make you feel? That's it! Wait a minute, they're not giving them solutions to their problems? Wait a minute, they're not interrupting them? No, they're not. What are they allowing them to do? To talk. Why? Because it provides emotional relief. And they need that emotional relief. Now, here's how I do it. I focus. It's hard to focus if you're having an issue at home, isn't it? Now, the only thing that's really difficult about police jobs is it's really hard to focus because you have to pay attention to safety, you have to pay attention to the radio,